So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Best Business Women Awards information session. We are recording it, so if you do have to dip off, you will be able to watch the recording later. And if you stay to the end and you've got any questions, I'm happy to stay on and answer anything. You can pop questions in the chat as we talk. You'll probably find that I will end up answering them, but I will check at the end. And as I said, I'm happy to stay on. So who am I? My name's Debbie Gilbert, and I started these awards back in 2015. So I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. So this year, it's our 10th anniversary. Can't quite believe that myself. Yeah, 10 years. It's a long time. And a lot of people have come through the awards. And we have so many amazing success stories that have come from that, which is just incredible. So I am going to share my screen. So it's going to be a mix of me talking through the entry process, and you'll hear from some sponsors and judges and previous winners. So it is quick fire. It's about an hour and a quarter. And I think you'll glean a lot of information from this, but the support doesn't end today. It's not a one-off support session. We're right on the end of a phone till the day the awards close to help you with anything. The only thing we won't be helping with is extensions. So we'll talk a bit more about that later. But we're here to advise you, to help you choose the right categories, help you with your entry and give you advice along the way. We can't write the entry for you, unfortunately, but there are people on the call that can help with that. So I'm going to go into my slide deck, because there's still lots of people coming in, and we'll go through what it's all about. So here we go. Let's just flip that across. And then I'm going to collapse people down so that that's not on the recording. So there you go. Move that out of the way. Fantastic. So as I said, if you weren't here at the start, this is the entry session for the Best Business Women Awards. And we are now in our 10th year. So we've recognised around 1,000 women, which is, I need to get the exact number, which I'm going to do, obviously, this year for the final, but it is about 1,000 women in total. So, if you are selected as a finalist in our awards, you get recognition. And that was what I was really passionate about when I set the awards up. Why did I set them up? I'd won some awards myself. I'd sat at award ceremonies thinking, where are all the women on the stage? Why is there only 3 of us getting awards and there are 20 men getting awards? And so back then, there are loads of female business awards now, and I'd like to think I was a little bit of a trailblazer for that, because at the time there was only 2 or 3 awards for female only, and they were very much aimed at women who had multi-million-pound businesses. And most women don't run multi-million-pound businesses because they're trying to juggle the needs of family or maybe other things in their lives around running a business. So there's a small percentage that do run multi-million-pound businesses, but the rest of the women out there were kind of getting forgotten. And I also sat at award ceremonies where I felt that the finalists got 0 recognition, and sadly that is still happening, because I was a finalist in an awards myself last year. And to me, that's wrong, because if you are a credible awards and you are, doing it properly with a judging panel and people are chosen, they should be recognised at the final. So that was my mission accomplished. And 10 years down the line, I'd like to think we are one of the most prestigious female business awards in the UK, and that we touch the lives of women who are just doing amazing things in their industry or for charity, and they're not necessarily earning millions of pounds, but they're making a huge difference, because life isn't just about what's in the bank. Life's about what you give back and how you support others and what you do on your business journey. So that was my mission, and that's my passion. And I do this because I love to celebrate female entrepreneurial success. I have my own business, which is a marketing and events agency. So we do other things as well. So the awards is part of that. And I honestly can tell you that it is the highlight of my year. I cannot express enough that it's such an emotional evening, but an evening packed full of celebration. And that is what I set out to achieve, that people came to the event and felt, wow, this is what I've achieved, and here I'm here to celebrate my success and those of the other women in the room. So it's not a kind of ego-driven event. It's all about a coming together of women who are literally, you know, patting each other on the back. And that's what I love about it so much. So 10 years down the line, we're here. It's an exciting year for me because I think a 10th birthday for anything is definitely a milestone. So I'm going to go through the entry process with you, and you're going to meet some of our sponsors and some of our judges today, and hear from some of our previous winners, and really get an insight into this world that I've created, and hopefully you're going to be part of it. So our sponsors, I'm going to need to check the attendance list to see who's here, but we have some brilliant sponsors that have been with us, some of them since the very, very start. Rain and Staples started with us 10 years ago. Cleveland Scott York joined us the year after that. And these companies really helped me to put on the event that I do, because without their sponsorship, we wouldn't be able to do all the glitz and glam that we have. So I just want to see on my participant list, because there's a lot of you, what will probably be easier if I stop sharing for a sec. And then if you are a sponsor, can you just put your little hand sign up, because there's too many screens for me to check everybody. So let's start with Diane. Diane, hello. All the way from Leeds. Do you want to say a quick hello? Can you take yourself off mute?
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Good morning, everybody. So this is my 4th year of sponsoring, wow. And I love it. The energy is incredible. I've been running a business for 30 years, and I'd never been to an event like this before. So the room is full of love and optimism and excitement and celebration and recognition, and I love that. So I'm absolutely delighted to be involved again this year.
Oh, thank you. And Diane is going to be sponsoring. Her company is She Can Prosper, and she supports women with their financial management. And we have a brand new category this year called Businesswoman of the Decade. So you have to have been in business for 10 years to enter that or more. And Diane is sponsoring that one this year. So quite a fitting one for you, because you're up for a Lifetime Achievement Award very soon, aren't you? And you won one last year. So I think it kind of really aligns well with your 30 years in business. So thank you, Diane. So let's hear from Amanda, because I know Amanda Fitzgerald has to leave early. Are you here? Yes, there you are.
Hi, beaming in from Essex. Anybody else in Essex? Yeah, so it is actually my 10th year of running my business, so I should stop being a sponsor and enter these awards. No, but it's going to be my 2nd year of sponsoring these awards, and I will say they are one of the best in the industry. And yeah, I experienced some awards last year as well, and yeah, 100%. I love the way you recognise all runners up as well. It's really important. And really importantly, everybody who is going to be an award winner or an entrant, getting into the press is so powerful. So this is great, and Debbie really, really supports everybody on that side of things. So thank you very much for letting me be included in this whole roll call.
And thank you, Amanda. And Amanda teaches people how to do their PR themselves, and we will be talking about PR a bit later, but I know she's got a dash off, but do connect up with her because she's got some great courses and things coming up. Let's hear from Sophie from Cleveland Scott York, who have been a long time sponsor.
Yes. So I'm Sophie from Cleveland Scott York, and yeah, I think we came on board sponsoring in the 2nd year, so yeah, 9 years. And yeah, I think I've been along to nearly every award show. We've been sponsoring the Best Customer Service Award category the whole time that we work in the legal services industry, and we felt it was really important to support something so fundamental to business, customer service, and we just really enjoy being part of this. It's such a positive awards process, people really looking at why their business is really good and celebrating that. So we've loved it.
Thank you, thank you. And if you need help with intellectual property, so protecting those all important award-winning assets in your business, go and talk to Sophie because she can help you with that. Denise, I'm going to come to you later when we talk about the book and evidence. Is that all right? But I'm going to head over to Chesterfield to our brand new sponsor for 2024, which is the lovely Dawn Brown, who won the animal services category last year. I put up a post and I said, I'm looking for a sponsor for animal services, and she responded straight away. So we're really excited to have you on board, Dawn. Share a bit about your business and what happened last year. Oh, I think you're on mute. Can we hear you? Yes. Oh, no. Try again.
Hey.
Oh,
Hello.
yeah, we can hear you now.
Hi guys, I'm Dawn from Rose Cottage Doggy Daycare, part of Dogland Limited. So we do what it says on the tin. We look after doggies, but in a totally unique way. And last year I entered the awards and best businesswoman in the animal sector. And oh my God, I bloody won it. And I was absolutely gobsmacked. What a wonderful event, filled with such passionate women, and the energy in the room were just amazing. And then when I saw that post wanting a sponsor, I thought, yeah, do you know what? I'm right there with you, Debbie, because it is hard running a business and juggling everything. So if I can give a little bit back and give that another woman the feeling I had that night, then happy days.
Oh, Dawn, that's amazing. And Dawn runs the most amazing dog, I'm going to call it a dog hotel, Dawn, up in Chesterfield. So amazing. Have a look at her business. What she's doing is incredible. And then we're going to head down to Brighton to Hella, who has been a sponsor, was a previous winner as well, and has been on board as a sponsor for a number of years now. Most inspiring businesswoman sponsor, Hella from Sister Snog.
Hello. Well, what can I say? The thing about the Best Business Women Awards is everyone who enters is a most inspiring businesswoman. So it's a beautiful category to be involved in. But the night, the day, the build up to it is utterly sparkling. And when you walk in, you will find that you are, you have found your tribe. And Debbie's attention to detail. And it's not just what happens on the night. Oh, no, it's what happens after, because she has winners' drinks. She keeps the buzz going. So this is a community that if you're not part of it, I've got to say, why not? And you just need to be there, because I will be the lady. I will be the golden lady wearing gold. I think that's got to be the theme of the dress code, because I like a dress code.
You do.
I think there will be a lot of gold, a lot of sparkle. And I think, setting out to do something like this, which recognizes, celebrates, and getting a gong is important, but it's actually entering, which is the thing that will make you look at your business. I find it's a highlight of the year, and there's never, it's almost goes by like a dream, and you wake up and think, have I been to Narnia?
Oh, that's really lovely. Thank you. And Hella runs the most amazing business club for women. So do connect up with her and find out more about it. I've been part of it for about 7 years now, and it's amazing. So thank you, Hella, and thank you for your support. I think that's all the sponsors that are here today. Let me just check. Oh, I don't want to miss anybody, but there's so many people on this call. And we're going to talk to the judges in a minute as well. So let's get back to the presentation. Where are we? Here we are. So all the sponsors are listed on our website. So obviously you can go and connect up with them and have a chat with them. So what are the ingredients for entry? This is a question I get all the time. So what we're looking for are businesses that are passionate about what they do, that they've got focus and clear direction, that you are making a profit, except for the new business category and the best networking group. Those two are excluded from that, because it's great if you are making a profit already as a new business, but we understand that the first sort of 2 years, 3 years, most new businesses are not in profits straight away. And, you know, the judges are going to consider that there have been challenging times. We got the pandemic, which kind of wasn't just a year, really. It went on for a couple of years. And then we've been hit with this cost of living crisis. We've been hit with the floods that have been going on. So we've had challenging times, and the judges, you know, take that into account. But we do ask for your financials. And I think, you know, some people get a bit funny about that, but actually it's just to demonstrate that you are running a profitable business. And by profitable, as long as you're paying yourself a wage and money is coming in and you're not sort of like earning £1,000 a year, then, you know, we would consider something where you're at least paying yourself over the whole year, the minimum wage, if not more. That you have got a business which is viable, because there are people running solopreneur businesses. We have a solopreneur category, and people in certain industries that are doing it because they're very passionate about it, but they might not be earning oodles and oodles of cash. And that's, I guess, one of the differences with our awards, is that it's really about what the demonstrable difference that you're making in your industry, as well as obviously making money. So the other thing that you really do need to have, and you should be doing this anyway as part of your business, is good testimonials. And ideally those need to be online somewhere. So whether they're on Google, LinkedIn, whether they're on Check a Trade, Trustpilot, you know, any of these platforms, it just makes them so much more credible. And when we talk about evidence, we'll go over that. I mean, I appreciate, again, there are potentially some of you working, you know, with people maybe where getting testimonials, public ones, are quite difficult, but there are workarounds for that, and we'll talk through that when we talk about evidence. And we're also looking for businesses with strong processes. So you've got your ducks in a row, really. That's what the judges are looking for. And we'll hear from some of the judges later so they can fill you in on the sort of things that they're looking for. What are the overall benefits of entering and winning not just our awards, but any awards? So I'm giving you some advice today that you can use anywhere. I would say filling in an award entry gives you the time to do a proper review of your business. Now, we are not a very click, 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 simple awards to enter. I'm not going to beat about the bush here. The questions are quite detailed and there's a lot of information you need to add. And the reason for that is, how can you make a proper judgment on a business that you don't really have any information on? And, you know, when we get to talking to the judges, you'll see my point of view, their point of view on that, as well as mine, is that, you know, in my opinion, if you're going to run a credible awards, the questions have to stretch you a little bit. And to be honest, if you can enter our awards, you can enter any awards, because I know our questions are quite deep dive. So it gives you a chance to do a real 360-degree look at your business from all different angles. And that in itself is a very useful exercise to do. And you will think, as you do this exercise, oh, actually, we could do that better. And oh, actually, we're doing that bit really well. So I think from the actual exercise of entering the awards, you're going to glean information that you can use in other areas of your business, which is obviously very beneficial. And you'll have quite a robust entry that you can potentially use to, you know, and adjust to enter other awards as well. As a result of winning awards, there is no doubt, and I speak myself, you know, I think I've won, I think it's 11 awards now in total, that, you know, new business comes as a result of winning those awards. And if you're pitching for business, you can put award logos up on your pitch and on your website and on your literature. I think it adds such strong credibility to you as a business owner. So new business opportunities definitely come your way. It's a real validation of your expertise in your industry. It raises you as an expert, gives you that competitive edge. And, you know, from that, potentially PR opportunities come your way. Now, PR opportunities are not just really about the actual winning of the award. It's about your story that they're going to be interested in, but the award validates you. So when journalists are looking through reams and reams of different press releases and different things that different people in an industry, they are more likely to choose somebody who's won an award, because it is a badge of honor in your industry, demonstrates you as an expert. And it's a great thing to share with your customers, you know, to be able to say, thanks for your support. You know, we won this award. Some people have done little parties afterwards. I was invited to one that Olivia from Cute Little Pigs did a couple of years ago. She did a little party to celebrate winning her award, and she invited me along, which was lovely. And, you know, you can really do some stuff on the back of it and really give that kind of feel to your customers that they are working with an award-winning business. There are huge networking opportunities at the final and pre-final, because it's about connecting up with that list of successful women that have all been chosen, and leveraging that. Even people in your own industry, it can be so beneficial. And we've seen loads of lovely stories have come out of the awards over the years: partnerships, collaborations, business being passed. So, you know, it has that added advantage. And the other advantage is the SEO benefits. So obviously we're quite a credible website. We've been around for 10 years. So we backlink to you, you backlink to us, etc. And that really helps with your SEO, and also all the promotion that we do before the awards, after the awards. You know, it's continual. So it's going to help you with your search engine optimization. There are no negatives at all. So how to enter? You select 2 categories. What we would recommend is that we have a range of categories which are more industry specific. So look at entering one of those. And then if you wanted to enter a second category, you'd look at something like most inspiring, best business, some of the more generic best customer service categories. So that would give you 2 stabs at a gold, and potentially 2 silvers, depending. So only 2 categories, and you select from the list that we've got now. Because it is our 10th birthday, we have 19 categories, but we have a 20th category which you can't enter, and the judges will be selecting somebody to win a special judges award this year. And even they don't know about this because we haven't had a judges session yet. So I wanted to do something else this year, and you know, it's just because I think 10 years is a big milestone, and I wanted to do something else with this 20th category. So there is going to be another one, but you can't enter it. You have to be chosen. Entry is online, and the cost to enter is £29 plus VAT. Now, you know, people get sniffy about paying for award entries and say, oh, you know, it's a pay to play. No, it's not. You know, we didn't charge for many years, about the first sort of 3 or 4 years, and the volume we got was immense. I mean, I am talking thousands of entries, and to be honest with you, lots of them were not completed properly, were flung together, pinged off. Now, us at the other end, we have to deal with those entries, and we have to process every single entry. And I had a lovely meeting with Don Hales, who started massive awards, global awards. Unfortunately, he's passed away now, died during the COVID pandemic. I had a meeting with him, and because we were both on a panel at an event. And he was lovely, and he gave me so much advice. And he said, look, you know, you might not want to charge, because I said, oh, I don't want to charge people. And he said, no, I'm telling you, it'll reduce the number of entries and the quality will go up. And it is exactly, was spot on. It reduced the number of entries, and people made more of an effort with their entry, because although they're only paying £29, they're making an effort to do it properly. And it alleviated a huge amount of the stress, you know, that we were dealing with this volume of entries, you know, and the money goes into the event, you know, it goes into making the event what it is. So we do charge, it's a nominal fee, and you know, it has made our lives easier, and also made people make more of an effort. So when you look at the questions, I will show you some of the questions in a moment, but you really need to carefully read those and make sure you answer the question, because a lot of people, they don't read things properly, and then they go off on a tangent or they repeat themselves. So it's really important that you read those questions and you answer them properly within the word count, because it will cut you off if you don't do the word count, if you try and go over. And then we're going to talk more in detail about evidence a bit later, but you put evidence in to support your entry. So it backs up what you're saying in your entry. So if you say, I do this work with this charity, then you need to get something from that charity to confirm what you've done and put that in, for example. Or if you're telling us you're amazing with your customer service, maybe you've got a survey and you need to upload that and put that in. So what you put in the entry is what is going to ultimately decide whether you are chosen as a finalist or not. And we do not select everybody. So if you do get selected, you know that you have reached that benchmark of success. There is no voting. Now, again, I am really anti-voting for awards, because all those organisers are doing is growing their own email list. That is it in a nutshell. And there is no other way for me to explain that to you. They are not credible in any way, shape or form. The only credible awards are ones that are properly judged by business experts that know what they're talking about. So that kind of brings me on just to quickly stop sharing, get some of the judges that we have here, because I know a couple have to go. David, I know you're here somewhere. David Bell.
Hello, good.
Hello, you are there.
I was here, yes. I was sitting here silently listening to all the fantastic information and stories. So, yes, good morning, everybody. I'm David Bell.
So David's one of our judges. He's also the chairman of the FSB for the East of England. And we sat next to each other at the FSB Awards a few years ago. I was a finalist, and David and I had met each other at another event, and I said, would you be interested in coming to judge our awards? Because I wanted more men on my panel. And he said yes. And he's been a judge now for 2 years, haven't you?
I have, and it's been absolutely fabulous. I mean, I've judged many business awards of all different shapes and sizes, from local to regional to national. Seen many different businesses, from micro businesses, i.e. self-employed, working for themselves, mumpreneurs, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, you name them, right the way through to, you know, bigger organizations with huge teams. So I've kind of seen lots of different entries from all different shapes and sizes. But there's one thing that is, you know, when I'm looking for an award entry that stands out, yes, facts, figures, numbers, that's the heart, you know, the harsh side of it. And that's important. And I know, Debbie, that's one of the reasons we asked for that for the Women's Business Awards. But for me, I'm looking for someone that's challenging that status quo, someone that's a little bit different, that stands out from the crowd, that's not just doing the mundane stuff that everybody else is doing on a day-to-day basis. So I want to see, you know, not so much their heart on their sleeves, but tell me, you know, share a story with me. What problem, what challenge do you solve, and how are you going to change the world one day? And that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking through all the different packs, trying to find the ultimate business that I'm judging.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you, David. I massively appreciate the time that you put into this, because it is time consuming, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you get some fantastic entries come through, and as you've said, it's not a 2-minute job for those that are entering. They've got to put, you know, a little bit of thought into it. There's going to be time to kind of put their entry together. But likewise, the judging team have got to sit there and review and read through all of those and make sense of the entry and take out all the great information. And when you've got, you know, maybe 15 or 20 in a category, you've got to read through those. And, you know, it's not literally 5 minutes each. It can take 15, 20, 25 minutes, because also we do a little bit extra research as well. Mm-hmm. Believe me, those that are entering, I will be diving off to your website. I will be having a browse at your social media and your LinkedIn and your Facebook and other places, because it's nice to get an overview and a full picture of what that business or that individual is offering.
Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you, David. Thank you for joining us this morning.
No problem.
So I'm going to go over to Maggie. Maggie Sarfo runs the Athena Network in London. Now, I love a balance of people on our panel. So I have lots of very business analytical people on my panel and lots of heart-led people on my panel as well. They've got lots of business experience. And I'd like to think that, Maggie, you're a bit of a combination of both of those things. So tell us what it's like for you judging, and what are you looking for?
Thank you so much, Debbie. And hello, everyone. I am so delighted to be here. So for me, and I know I keep saying, but I find the Best Business Women Awards the most incredible awards that I've been able to be a part of and also witness the celebration of. Prior to coming on board as a judge, I have been able to judge at the awards in West London, because I used to be part of an organization called the Park Royal partnership, and we straddled around 3 boroughs in the Park Royal area on an estate of about 2,000 businesses. And so, but then also, you know, having said that, I've always dealt with business owners and business directors. I spent 15 years in the world of corporate and SMEs, and then for the last 8 years, I have been running 2 businesses. So for me, I get really, really excited by asking those questions about, you know, the business and where it's going, and, you know, what makes it profitable and how it impacts the world, just like David was saying as well. What I really love about these particular awards, every time I get the opportunity and the honor to be a part of and to judge them, is the depth of stories that come in, because every time I'm looking through them, every time I'm researching, every time I'm reading what I'm looking at, I also get to reflect on my businesses and some of the other businesses that I see around, and what makes us stand out and what makes these businesses who have entered stand out. This year, I wanted to also challenge you to ask those questions, what if? So, for instance, if you're wondering whether you should, you know, enter the awards this year, I guess the question you should be also asking is what if? And what if is to challenge yourself to go for it, even if you've done it before, go for it again and do something even greater, because as you do it, you also get to, you know, take things to the next level for yourself and for your business and for those who you impact, including your clients and your loved ones at home as well. I am a sucker for evidence as well. I love the stories and I love, you know, the successes and everything, but without the evidence, it's challenging at best to be able to say this one stands out amongst the rest. And so I will implore you to please submit evidence as part of all the great successes that we believe you have achieved for your business. And yeah, I'm always very delighted to be here.
Oh, thank you, Maggie, and thank you for the time that you spend doing this as well. Much appreciated. So we have in total around 25 judges every year, and the entries are seen by 3 separate judges. They score them, they submit their scores, and it's based on the number of points that you get will decide whether you're a finalist, and the person with the most points is the winner. And if we get a draw, which we have had, then it goes to our head judge, who can't be here today, unfortunately, but Roma, who will look at the 2 entries that have come out at the top, and she will just make a decision based on looking at both those entries and both those businesses. So I think it's very fair and it's very robust. I think that's all the judges I've got here today. Just let me double check. Put your hand up if you're a judge and I haven't. No, that's it. Because I know Denise is also a judge, but we're going to be hearing from her shortly. Right, okay, let me put back to my PowerPoint. Share. So, oh, sorry, that was judges. So the entry submission process, I would start off with the brainstorm, decide on your categories, write your entry onto a Word document, always do that, because then you can go back, you can refine, you can spell check, you can grammar check, and then once you're ready, upload it onto our system. You can just sit and do the entry on the system, but if you end up with a power outage or your Wi-Fi breaks or something goes wrong, you're leaving yourself very vulnerable. So you do not want to be doing this at 5 to 6 just before we close on our website. And then you've got a copy of it on a Word document and you can use it elsewhere. And as I alluded to earlier, you can use it elsewhere in your business. So my advice over the year is to keep a folder on your laptop or desktop with achievements, things that you can pop in there as you're going along week to week, because we all do such amazing things that we sometimes forget about those things. So you can pop them into there, and in there you might want to keep your annual finances, your business and your marketing plan, and any other information that you might want to submit with an award entry in there. And then it's just there, and then you're ready to enter not just our awards, but any awards as the year goes by. Regularly ask your clients for testimonials, because that's an important process that you should be doing at the end of any piece of work or product that's sold. You should be trying to get customers to give you reviews as a constant process, not just in that main rush just before the awards. Now, you can get someone else to write your entry for you, but we've had this several times where people have not checked the entry that that person submitted for them, and make sure that your information is included as the entrant and not the person writing the entry. We've had that a few times. There's a second box where if you're, you know, you've got somebody writing your entry, they put their details in there, just in case we have to call them if we have a query. But I implore you to check that entry, because if you've paid someone to do the entry, make sure you check it before they submit it, or submit it yourself with the evidence, because this has tripped people up a number of times over the years. It really isn't cheating, getting somebody else to help you. If you're time starved or your writing is not your strong point, you are much better off to outsource that to somebody than try and muddle through and do it yourself and make a pig's ear of it. And I'll show you shortly about getting the link to your entry. If you do start to do it online and then you stop, there is a way of getting the link to go back to it. But fundamentally, I wouldn't advise sharing that link with somebody else who's writing your entry. I would just work on it on a Word document, get it right, look at the evidence that you're putting together, agree it before it's submitted. Because sharing the link with somebody can be really problematic, you know, because our server is quite secure and it can cause all sorts of glitches. So I've got a couple of people here today that write award entries. I'm going to stop sharing. Kate Adam, I think you're here somewhere. Hello, hello. Are you here?
Yeah, hi Debbie.
Ah, there you are. So Kate and I have known each other a very long time, and we send a list out of people who can help you write awards, and Kate is one of them. Do you want to just share a little bit about what the process is like working with somebody when you're writing their award entry, Kate?
Yeah, I've been described before as various things in my career, one of which is a Rottweiler, I think. I work with all of my clients to get the absolute best out of them, and that can be quite tough sometimes because I ask an awful lot of questions. It's an absolute privilege to work with so many talented business women, particularly, which is where I do a lot of my work. But I do work across multiple awards. From a process point of view, yeah, questions is fundamental in my world. I work generally in two ways, but can work to suit you. One of which is a review service. So you do the work. A lot of clients that I work with love writing, but they want a fresh pair of eyes to actually go through things and push them harder, ask them some more probing questions, and really help them tell their story. I think, David, you said about telling your story and telling it really passionately. At the other level, I work and will work right the way through and write the full submission for you, give the guidance on the evidence, which I would do in the review service anyway. But I always say it's a bit like panning for gold, because I'll ask for information, supporting evidence, more information, more facts. I can see one of my lovely ladies from last year on the screen. And so, you know, I'm tough, but I'm tough for a very good reason. I want you to win that award. When you present a lot of the information back to me, quite often I'll say, well, that's really interesting. Right, let's find about that. And that often is where we find the real gems, the real nuggets of gold. What I will say is, and this is a broad statement, but quite often women will feel a little bit shy about really shouting about their achievements. And the really helpful thing is I can do that for you. I can say how fantastic you are. But right the way through every single piece of information we need to back up. You can't just say, well, I'm the best business because I've been in business for 15 years. I'm doing something a bit different. I think, again, it was David who said about what are you really doing to challenge the status quo? I'll help you find those things and I'll help tell your story in the best possible way. And when you or I press that submit button, if we know that if we had another 2 months, there's nothing else we could find to say, to shout about what makes you a best businesswoman, then we've done our job. So please let me know if you'd like any further information. Kate Adam, Meredith Marketing, and I wish you all the best of luck, because these awards are really fantastic. They are tough, and they are an amazing celebration of women in business. So congratulations to Debbie for your 10th year. I can't believe that. 10
No,
years
I can't.
already.
I remember you were at the launch, the very first launch we ever
know.
did.
I
Thank
know.
you, Kate. We've
Good
also
luck,
got
everybody.
Debbie Tilley here somewhere. I know she's here lurking in my list. Debbie, hello. Can you just take yourself off mute and just say her quick hello, because you also write award entries?
Hello. Yes, I do. Yeah, and I'd probably say the same as Kate is questions. So many of my clients are like, well, you want more information? Yes, because I want you to win that award.
Oh, fantastic.
Definitely like a Rottweiler.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, ladies, put your details in. And if there is anyone else on the call that does that as well, do put your details in to the chat box. Fantastic. Right, let me just put Kate back on mute. So, so we've heard from some of our judges. This is our full panel, and they're all on our website, so you can go and have a little look at them. Our categories for 2024, I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them, but just to kind of draw your attention to a couple of new things, or revisit actually, because the best networking group we last had in 2019, we sort of changed some of the categories each year, because obviously there are so many industries out there. We can't, represent everything every single year. So this year we brought this one back. Quite excited for our 10th year. So if you run a networking group, or you know someone that does, it doesn't have to be for profit, it can be for passion. Then get them to enter, because it would be lovely to see those amazing networking companies recognised this year. And that's being sponsored by Stefan Thomas, who wrote Business Networking for Dummies. And he can't be here today, but his details will be put onto the website. And as I mentioned earlier, our category for this year, Businesswoman of the Decade. So you have to have been trading for at least 10 years. So as long as you started your business before 2014, you can enter this category. So it's quite a special category. We are kind of thinking maybe we should have 10 finalists, because it kind of marries up quite nicely in that category, but we'll see who comes through. And best business, you do need to be trading for 5 years or more. And all the other categories, all the detail and the information is on the website. If you don't know what category to enter, then you just need to call us and we will talk you through, because there is a category there for everybody. But, if you're really not sure and you really, want some guidance, we will give you that guidance. Much better to ask us than enter the wrong category. So these are the questions. Now, these are the questions for all categories except for Businesswoman of the Decade. They have slightly different questions. Charity Champion, Most Inspiring, Green Business, New Business and Customer Service. So those categories have some of their own questions that are very specific to those areas. But essentially, we're going to be asking you about the business. So what does the business do? How does the business differ from its competition? So what is it that you're doing that's maybe slightly different to other businesses within that field? How you deliver great customer service. Now, that isn't saying that you call people back in 24 hours, because we would expect you to do that. So it's about what are those touches that you do for your customers that you think make you a little bit more special with your customer service. Any challenges that you've had to face over the last year and how you've coped with those. What activities have been instrumental in the growth of your business? So that's really talking about your marketing and some of the things that you've done to help grow your company. It's going to ask you about your turnover, your gross and net profit for the last financial year. And the evidence we need for that would either be off of your accountant, or it might be if you're using online accounting software, you can send a summary of that, or a spreadsheet. Any of those things are fine, as long as it has that detail on it. And we have had people that have uploaded a sheet on that question, because that question requires some evidence to be uploaded, and put, I'm not giving you my finances. But they've done that as evidence. And unfortunately, those entries will not go to the judging panel. So there is a first screening process, because there has to be, because of the volume that we get, that then we look for all the bits and pieces and make sure that what we're sending to the judging panel are people who've completed the entry correctly. So you can't fudge us on that one and put a piece of paper that says I'm not supplying that information. So we ask about what your business does to give back to others. That's quite important, and that can be the difference between being a silver or gold winner, because the gold winners generally are people who are also giving back to their industry or their local community or supporting charities. You know, this day and age, businesses have to do something to give back. I think that's really important. And we also ask about why you're passionate about your industry. You know, you want to feed in any qualifications and experience. You might be qualified through experience. You know, feed that into your entry and share that. And then the business bio is a 50-word bio, which goes into the program if you are selected. And it's also used in social media posts. So just be aware that's what we use it for. It's not, you're not scored on it, but you have to put it in. So it's just a summary of what you're doing. So when you're doing your entry, you will be able to go to the category. So I'm just showing you the green one here, and click on what are the questions, and it will tell you those questions before you've even started the entry. You'll be able to see them. It is gated, so you just have to register on our website to see the questions, but you don't have to do the entry if you then look at the questions and think, oh God, I can't answer that, or I need to come back to it. So you'll be able to click on and see the questions for all the other categories that are not those ones specifically. And then if you start to work on your entry on our website, which I don't advise you to do, by the way, but I'm telling you what to do if you do decide to go against my advice. You can save it and continue later, and it will generate you a link, and you can come back to your application, but it's only valid for 30 days. So if you don't do that and save that link, then the entry is lost. We don't have access to it. It's because it's a secure server. So I can't repeat that enough. Work on a Word document, copy and paste it in afterwards. We've already said read and answer the questions. I keep saying it because it's so important, because when we give people feedback who aren't selected, normally it's because they haven't read the question properly and answered it properly. I really want you to demonstrate the true strengths of your business. The evidence is so important, and also the grammar, making sure that the answers make sense. Don't copy and paste things from your website either. Judges can spot that. Enter early. You know, you don't want to be doing this in a last minute rush, because you'll stress yourself out, and you've got 4 months from today to get your entry in. It's plenty of time. You know, you can spend the next few weeks gathering everything together, getting the entry sorted, and then get it in. You know, I don't understand why every year 100 people wait until 10 minutes before the deadline to put an entry in. It happens every year, and every year I say this. I just don't get it. So please don't do that. You know, give yourself some slack and get it done. And before you submit it, my advice is do it on a Word document, send it to somebody who doesn't really know you, doesn't really know your business too well, and they can sense check it. Because I think, you know, getting that feedback can be really, really useful. So to summarize what the judges are looking for, and I think 2 of them have already alluded to this, they're looking to learn about your story, the challenges that you've had, the triumphs, the figures, the achievements, and your credentials. That is in essence what they want to know about, okay? Really focus on the business. You know, when you're talking about achievements, if your son got into Oxford, that's his achievement, not yours. And we have a lot of people that allude to achievements about their children, for example, that are actually nothing to do with their business. So don't put those in as your achievements, because they're not. They're your kids' achievements. So really sit down and focus on what you've achieved. And if you've got credentials and qualifications in your industry, you might be qualified by experience, and that's perfectly fine. Make sure you put the evidence in and you explain what qualifications you've got. So We're going to talk a bit about evidence now, with a massive expert on this, who is Denise O'Leary. Now, Denise and I did a podcast episode on this, and she's also written an amazing book called Winner. She's a judge of the awards, but she came as a judge to the awards after winning. You know, we didn't know each other. She entered the marketing and PR category the first year we ran that, actually, and she won it, and with an outstanding entry, I have to say. And then we got to know one another, didn't we, Denise?
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
from
That's
that,
one of the gifts of the whole process.
it was. And she was like, look, I'd really like to get involved. I'd really like to be a sponsor. And I was like, yeah, great. And then I thought, I've got to get this woman to judge, because she has put together the most awesome entry. And not only won our awards, but global awards and lots of other awards as well. So you really are a font of all knowledge, Denise. So share a bit about evidence for us, please. And well, share a bit about your journey and a bit about evidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, first off, I love these awards. I love the feeling of them. I love the community. I love the friendship, the celebration. And it isn't just all about the winners. It's about everybody's achievement. And I wasn't the winner the first time I entered, and I went not knowing a soul and travelled from the West Country across to meet Debbie in her awards. Didn't know anybody. Just turned up, had a great evening. Thought, what a lovely community. And so first thing is, if you don't win the first time, have another go. If you've won in the past, have another go. You know, so much changes in our businesses over years. But one thing that we do forget when we're very close to our own businesses is independent evidence. And you might say you're wonderful, and that could be interesting, but someone else saying you're wonderful is far stronger. So make sure you capture your evidence as you go through your business year. A lot of you will have feedback questionnaires, you'll have your Trustpilot, you'll have your Facebook reviews, you'll have all sorts of different materials. But unfortunately, a lot of time you're motivated by having the evidence to be able to go and look for the evidence. So the first bit of advice is try to accrue it on an ongoing basis. And do the same with your media coverage. We said earlier how important it is to have coverage. What have you done in your community? Did it have a news article in your local paper? Was it an online journal in your industry? Do screen grabs of those and upload them into your own media documents so you build it step by step. Because I think we all run so fast in our businesses, we forget where it is we've come from. And actually, we do forget to celebrate our achievements as well, which is why it's so important that we take a breath every so often and say, yes, actually, we did achieve this and this is where it came from. So when I judge, I do look up people's evidence. As David said, yes, we go to the website. We actually will look up Companies House. We might look at credit reference agencies. There's a lot of other things that we do because we can normally smell a foul smell of a story if there's one there. If something doesn't add up, we look at that evidence all together and think, you're claiming this, but it isn't backed up in other elements. So we like to look at all of that information and piece it all together. So yes, evidence is really key. And if you've had a chance to be an industry leader, have you done a podcast? Have you written an article? Have you worked in collaboration with someone? But what have you done for your community? And I think this is now the singular standout point for most awards. You can be very good at your business, and in all likelihood, there are other people that are very good at that type of business in whichever field you're in. You may have certain standouts, but what are you doing that's giving back? Are you providing work experience, apprenticeships? Are you doing mock interviews with kids so they can actually start to see what business is actually like? Are you going into schools and explaining what an entrepreneurial journey is like? All of these things for me are the greatest standout. What work do you do in your community for helping charities? Are you prepared to have a stand and speak to people and just have open communication rather than actively selling all the time? So for evidence, for me, it is about the rounded individual, and these are the Best Business Women Awards. You know, we're looking for your story. Everybody's multifaceted. Normally you're juggling several things, of which maybe 20% of them are at their optimum and everything else isn't. So we really want to know what it is that you're doing with all of your elements that are pulled together to deliver your business.
Thank you, Denise. That's amazing. Thank you so much for your support. So we're going to step over to stepping out, someone who was sat here last year, the wonderful Shelley Otway, who listened to this whole awards launch and went off and did her entry and was declared the winner of the Children and Families category, gold winner. And she did the most amazing, I think she has to win an award for the most amazing dance up to the stage to get her award. So if you want to watch that, go and see the video from last year, because you did an amazing little dance. I thought it was fantastic. So Shelley, for the benefit of everyone sitting here who's not entered before, what's your thoughts?
So firstly, thank you for asking me to speak today. I feel very honoured to be amongst amazing business owners on this call. So thank you, Debbie. I run a theatre school for children. And a bit like Dawn, I kind of sat here last year, and I remember Kirsty from Red Carpet Ready was talking about her winning the business of the year. And I thought, and I looked at her business after the call and thought, oh my goodness, like this lady's amazing. There's no way I could do anything like that. And then I remember there was this little nugget of information, and somebody said, well, if you don't do it, then you're never going to win it, are you? And I thought, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I've never entered a business award. I come purely from a creative background. I don't have any business qualifications. I was a dancer professionally. So let me just see. When we got to the awards, which was amazing, by the way, I walked in and my partner said to me, Shell, this is amazing. And I'm really proud of you, but you're not going to win it, love. You're just not. And I went, no, I get that. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy to be here. And I remember speaking to your son that night, not knowing who he was, Debbie, and saying, oh, the lady that's created this, I mean, she's just amazing. Like, thank goodness I didn't say anything awful. Not that there would ever be anything awful to say, but I was like, oh my goodness, it's so amazing what she's done. And, I felt, even if I hadn't have won that night, I honestly felt I was a winner as I walked in that room, because the way that you make people feel, Debbie, is incredible. It really is.
Oh, thank you. And what's the award done for you? Talk us about the recent award that you've just won. You've won another one.
So I upped it this week. Last week's award, I did the splits. So, I thought couldn't walk for 3 days after, because I haven't danced professionally for years. But yeah, I thought I'd up it a bit, do the splits on this one. And yeah, we've won another 2 awards since. And I always say this in my emails to you, Debbie, you gave me that drive, that kind of, I don't think if I'd ever had won an award or even been shortlisted, I would have gone and done any more. But we've won 3 since November, which is amazing. I loved us in Reading. But PR's been amazing for the business. It really has put us on a different level to where we were. From that, we've got a completely new infrastructure to the business. So I've now got somebody doing my social media. I've got somebody doing our website. I've got a vice principal. I've now got a PA. That's all happened since November. And I honestly believe that is because when you say that you're an award winner, it gives you something to talk about on the phone. It's something exciting. It's not, hello, I'm just phoning up for my child to come and do a ballet class. I had somebody say, oh, did you win recently? And I'm like, so and it's exciting. It's something you can chat about to people, but they think, oh my goodness, that business is on a different level to something else, to one of my competitors, for instance.
Yeah.
So yeah, the PR side's been amazing.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us this morning, Shelley. Thank you, and wish you
Thank
continued
you.
success. So we're going to head over to Sophie Preston Hall, who won the business services category in 2023, but had been a finalist before. Well, silver winner. We call them silver winners. And you re-entered again, and fantastic, won the gold last year. Oh, can I just get you to take yourself off mute?
Schoolboy error. I'd entered a few times. I was also a silver
award winner in COVID when you did it on
That's right, yes.
on the Zoom as well, which
Oh,
was,
no.
I mean, even the way that you did that was amazing, and I'd never seen anything like it. So we even got to go and sit at a virtual bar and everything, which I think I did rather a lot, and it was good fun. I'm what I like to call a bit of an awards tart. I've been doing it since I started 22 years ago now. So loving the fact that you've got the 10 years award one. And I can't recommend them enough. Any award is brilliant, and getting recognised by your peers and the networking and just the boost it does, getting your name out there and just putting the logo on the bottom of your email thread as well, and sort of showing your clients that you are recognised in a field of what you do. But I have to say, and I've said this before, Debbie, yours always blows me away. It's just, you could just go there, do an award, go home, but it's the thought that goes into it. It's the evening, the energy. The first time I set foot in that room, it was the energy in that room, and the women supporting themselves, supporting each other, and sort of cheering on. And I know that there's even women that go there that are not even finalists or silver award winners. They just like being in the room in that energy. And the women that I've met and the networking that I've done since then, and pretty much on a day-to-day basis, is just worth its weight in gold anyway. And I do highly recommend. I'm going to repeat a lot of things that a lot of other people have said already, which is I use it as a marketing. It's part of my marketing budget, and I do enter awards every year. We have a spreadsheet, and we look at the awards, and we change our entries up a little bit. And, you know, we have awards that we like to do and whatever. And we use it as a marketing budget. Just about to complete the FSB ones for this weekend, because they're all going in rather short notice this weekend. So we've been feverishly doing those for a couple of my branches. But it does give you a chance to overlook your business and think, well, hang on a minute, no, I want to do that. And I use it as business planning, because how many of us do a business plan when we start our business, put it in a filing cabinet and never look at it ever again?
Yeah,
and
that's so true.
And I look at it as and I tend to do it in sort of January, February, March, when we are a little bit quieter. I've got a catering recruitment agency, so we are slightly quieter at this time of year. And it's just a refresh. And I'll even go back and in my files, I've got all my past awards. So everything is always saved on a Word document. As Debbie said, that is a brilliant piece of advice. And I'll go back and look at past awards, and I'll go and I think, oh, well, I said I was going to do that, and I did achieve that, but I didn't achieve that. Let's do that this year. So, you know, I do look at it as a refresh, and to sort of shake things up a little bit and to keep me on my toes.
Lovely. Thank you, Sophie. Well done. Wish you continued success too. Now, every year we have a charity champion, and we started the awards. Obviously, the very first year I did it, I didn't have a charity champion, but I found a charity that I wanted to support that year. And we do a raffle, and we give the charity a bit of exposure at the start of the awards, and a piece in the programme, because it was really important for me to raise money each year. And every single year we raise money for the previous year's charity champion winner. Now, we don't charge charities to enter our awards. They get to enter for free, because, again, I think that's fair. And we also give them a free ticket to come to the awards, because I wanted to, again, I didn't want a barrier there for charities to enter, but I also don't want to take valuable funds that they need for their users for our awards. So that's what I do to give back. And, you know, we have raised over £100,000 now for charities since we started the awards. And our winner for last year was the amazing Ruth Robb, who is here today from Azalea, whose charity is based in Luton. And I'm going to get her to tell you a bit about what she does and what her experience of the awards were. And we're going to be raising money for her this year and her wonderful charity. So welcome, Ruth.
Hi. Hi, it's lovely to be with you. I absolutely love the awards, as we all do. And it's so refreshing to be with other women. And it's so refreshing to be with women who really care about their community and will cheer you on. And there's so many components to do with charity foundations, formations, which are identical to business. And I love that. And I love that synergy that we have. And the support that I felt and the care has just been so inspiring since the award. And it's the kindness of a stranger. I love telling our women who are trapped in sex trafficking, modern day slavery, about the power of kindness of strangers. And many of that kindness of strangers is you. And how authentic you've been in connecting and thinking outside the box, thinking how can you care for women who are trapped in sex trafficking, and how can you see multiplication. So the award has made, it's just been a huge game changer, because we've connected with people that we never thought we would be able to. And we've been able to share the fact that everyone has the right to be a person who cares about modern day slavery, sex trafficking in their community, and a difference that will make. We're very energized by our relationships. Azalea is a people thing, and it's about seeing one face connect with another face, and that face could be a woman trapped in sex trafficking, that could be a man who is trapped in buying sex, and it can be a person in their local community who desperately wants to see transformation in their community. And sex trafficking can be cliched to economic deprivation, but the quantity of pop-up brothels that happen in affluent areas, the quantity of young girls who are groomed through social media, through pornographic sites in affluent areas, is huge. And it is about our care and our passion to see change. So I can't thank you enough for being on our journey. And it's one of my things, I love meeting new people. I get very excited about it, because you never know where it's going to go. And life is one big, massive mystery. This week we've been in Parliament. Azalea, some of our women have been a voice for themselves. We're not here to be a voice for the voiceless. We're here to create a platform for them. And they've shared their stories, they've shared their transformation, and they've been able to really impact policy. And it's been awesome to see that. And they've been treated with such dignity and respect. We got that voice. One of the criteria was that they saw our award.
Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. And it just opened that door enough for us to be able to come in and pitch. So what can I say?
Well, we're going to be
changing
excited
lives.
Exactly. And it's exciting for us to raise money for you this year and hear more about your support for women, which is amazing. So I'm so chuffed that you won it, and we'll look forward to hearing more from you later this year. Thank you, Ruth. One final winner who is here, gold winner, is Janan. Janan Leo, do you want to say a quick hello? Sort of put her on the spot a little bit. I don't know if she's still there. No. She's there, but maybe she's had to go off camera. Okie doke. Let's just finish off our presentation. Thank you to everybody who has shared their stories. So you heard from Denise about the importance of evidence, and if you want to win an award, the key is the proof, robust evidence that proves you are the best in the category. You can upload 4 files plus your financials. And the sorts of things are going to be your testimonials. So if you've got, say, I don't know, 50 testimonials on LinkedIn, for example, recommendations, take off maybe 2 or 3 of them, the really good ones, and then signpost the judges a link where they can read more. You don't want pages and pages, but you want the ones in essence that are actually talking about what you've done and how you've done it, not that just, oh, you're a great person, or you want people to be describing your service and their experience with you. Case studies are really explaining how you took somebody from where they were when they started working with you to where they are now. So they're more detailed, and they're quite good if you can accompany that with a testimonial through the case study as well from that person, or company or organization that you've worked with. Your financials we've already talked about. So charity work, pro bono. Denise alluded to things like you might be just doing stuff in the community, helping out, talking to people about enterprise, or it could be, you know, it's not necessarily raising money. It might be other things that you're doing. You could be a person in your industry that's supporting other people. You know, there's a lot of things that come under that banner. If you've got a customer survey, so you might have sent a survey out to your customers asking for feedback, you could include that. If you've got a team, you might want to include your staff surveys. And also, if you do have staff, do include some information about them in your evidence, because they're all part and parcel of who works with you. You might want to include your marketing plan, your business plan. So these are just a few examples of sorts of things. What isn't great evidence is just a photo of your premises or a photo of something. Before and after photos are quite good if they're relevant. But what we find is people don't really put in robust evidence. They'll just upload 3 or 4 photographs and think that that's sufficient, and it's not. It's the detail that the judges are looking for. And if you're not sure, just ring me and I will talk you through it. I can't express enough about making it clear for the judges. So make the entry read like a story. Don't use jargon, so things that they might not understand, so acronyms and things like shortened versions of things, because although they've got lots of business experience, certain industries might have a acronym that's used. Don't use that. Use plain speaking. Don't overinflate your claims. You've already heard from the judges, they will see through that. And try to keep things to the point and make it really easy for them. So label your evidence file. So if it relates to question 1 or 2 or 3, just label it when you upload it. Just make it as easy as possible for them. We've already spoken to Denise, and this is a copy of the cover of her book, Winner. And we'll make sure that the details go out with the after email, but it is on Amazon and it talks you through the whole process about entering awards and evidence. And I wrote the foreword to the book. So my funny award story, because the very first time that I won an award, there's a little bit of a funny story there. So that's all there and you can read all about it in that. Now then, if you do the entry and lo and behold, you get your email to say that you've been selected as a finalist, you need to maximize this as much as possible pre-awards. So we will send you a logo that you can use. So get onto social media and do some posts, email your list, add the logo to your website, write a blog and a press release. We will send you a template for a press release, but just get that out there as quickly as possible. Congratulate the other finalists. They'll all be listed on the website, so you can go through those. This is another networking opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, and follow other finalists and the sponsors as well. Media coverage is obviously one of the benefits to either being a finalist or a winner of any awards. And oh my God, we've got so many stories we could share. So lots of press over the years. We've had people on the Victoria Derbyshire show, Sky News, Aisha Nayar, who won our Best Legal Services category in 2019. She has now got a regular slot on Rip Off Britain and the Steph Lunch Show on Channel 4. Currently, we have one of our silver winners from last year in the BBC Apprentice programme, Raj. So you might have seen her in the first couple of episodes of that. We've had people on the breakfast show, and journalists are interested in you not because you've won the award, but because you've got a great story, and the award gives your story credibility. That's what it's all about. So it's the validation, and that's what we found over the years. And the people who are active and either work with a PR company, so Scott Media is one of our sponsors, and Fiona Scott does do Done For You PR. She'll do it for you. And Amanda teaches you how to do the PR yourself. So we've got 2 PR experts in our midst, but there's tons of people out there. And find somebody who can help you, that maybe has the contacts and can help you get press coverage. On the night of the awards, take as many photos as you can, do a live on social media while you're there, maybe a video on your phone, and really create a buzz around your business and maximize all of those images before and after the awards. And everybody who is selected as a finalist will win either a gold or a silver award. You will walk away with a trophy that night. The gold award is given to one person in each category, and then all the finalists become silver award winners, and you get a silver star award to take away with you on the night. And then a logo post awards that you can use on your website. So you'll either get a silver or gold logo to use. And again, you know, we encourage you to do as much as you can to get publicity on the back of that as well. So you get some nice photographs that you can use as well. This year, our final is on the 11th of October, and we're going to a new venue. We've been at the Hilton Wembley for a few years, but we're moving it this year to the Hilton Syon Park. It's a beautiful venue in Isleworth, just outside London. It's absolutely stunning, and it's just got a nicer vibe than Wembley. It's a long story about how we ended up in Wembley for a few years, but, you know, I'm quite pleased that we've moved it across to the Syon Park. Here's a few little photos of some of our winners from last year. There's a lovely Ruth, who you've heard from today, and Sophie, Annie, Hannah, and Hannah was actually on Dragon's Den a few years ago. So some of our previous winners have also been on there. And we also run a couple of events throughout the year. So we run an awards drinks, which we did at Juno Rooms at the end of last year. It's around about November last year, which there's a small fee to come along, and there's drinks and food and networking and an opportunity to meet people away from the actual awards environment. We haven't set the date for this year, but it will be in November, and I'm just trying to sort out a venue. And we do a lunch in the summer, which we always only used to do it for gold winners. But this year, I think we're going to open up some seats for silver winners as well. So there'll be a limited number, but we'll, you know, have as many seats as we can. That's on the 4th of June. And that is open to previous winners going all the way back to the start of the award. So once you've won a silver or a gold award, you are part of this forever. And it just gives you that touch point with other successful female entrepreneurs. So these are the important dates that you need to note down. The closing date is the 6th of June at 6 o'clock. There is no extensions ever on our awards. We just don't extend. Other awards do it. That's down to them. That's their decision to do that. We don't do it. You've got 4 months to do your entry. It's plenty of time. Unfortunately, people contacted us on the 7th and say, I haven't submitted it. Can I send it to you? The answer is no. If it's not in the system by 6 p.m. on the 6th, so just remember 6-6. It's quite easy. 6th of June, you won't be submitted for this year. And please don't leave it till 5 to 6. Try and do it before. We will announce our finalists by the 5th of July. It won't necessarily be on the 5th of July, but it will be during that week. That will be the latest, the 5th of July. And the reason I don't give a specific date is because I have a huge team of judges who have to send everything back. Life happens, things happen. And they have a 2-week judging period to get everything done. So it just takes the pressure off not having a specific date. But as soon as we can do it, we'll do it. Like last year, we managed to do it early. So I think it was the 1st of July. And our final is on the 11th of October. Now, we're not one of those awards that discredits you and disqualifies you if you can't make the final. However, what I would say to you is it is pretty pointless to enter if you know you can't make the final, because you miss out on all the photos, the networking, the celebration. Yes, we can send you the award afterwards, but it's just not the same. And, you know, I think that the whole process is important, that you're there and that you embrace that whole celebration. So those are all the dates that you need to earmark. These are all our social media links, and I will send you a copy of this video and the slides after this call. Might not be today, it might be Monday, but we'll see how things go. And if you go onto YouTube, you will see videos from previous events on our website. And there is a video as you click onto our website from last year that you can watch as well. I also have a podcast called The Business Awards Show. We're now heading up towards our 100th episode, not far off. We're now sort of in the late 80s. And you know, I've interviewed some incredible people, not all winners of the Best Business Women Awards. I've also interviewed people who run other awards, people who are judges and sponsors and have won different awards, not just mine. But it's a great podcast for getting a real feel for other businesses that are out there and also what the awards experiences have been for them. So if you do know somebody, or you are someone yourself who's won an award or has sponsored or judged or runs an awards, you know, let them know and or come forward, and I'll be happy to interview you for the next series. So that's basically it from me. Just landing with a few little images again from last year, and I'm going to stop sharing and say thank you all for coming. I hope to see you all in October. And if anyone's got any questions, we can certainly take those questions now, or we can arrange to talk to you privately if you'd rather do that privately. So let me just go to the chat, because there's been a lot of chat going on. Has anyone got any questions? You can pop your hand up on here. I'm going to stop the recording actually now. Let me just do that. There you go.